People today are embarrassed about giving you an answer that shows their vulnerability, and worse, showing or exposing to you what's really important to them. We're embarrassed about it. We hold it back now. We don't want to be laughed at. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to be criticized. So I will give you a question that potentially makes me look maybe a bit more superior, a bit more thoughtful, a bit more articulate than what I am. Okay? Not me, because, hey, it's me. But most people do. There was a realtor that I was working with, and she was a coaching client of mine, and we built her brand up, and we did all of this stuff. And she contacted me, and she said, I've had this client, and the client contacted me because she wants a 3-bedroom house on this street. And I sent her every 3-bedroom that was available on that street. I even went to houses that weren't up for sale to see if we could pocket list it to get that house for her. And she said no to every single one. He said, I'm running out of houses. She's running out of houses on that street to offer to the client. What am I doing wrong? And I said to her, well, it's apparent and very obvious you didn't ask why. She said, what do you mean I didn't ask why? I said, well, what happened? Give me the enactment of the original conversation. She contacts you because she wanted something. She told you what? That she needed that street. She said, yeah, that street, 3-bedroom house, needs to have a pool. And you did what? And she said, well, I went and got it. I said, no, you gave the client, or you tried to give the client what they asked for. You didn't ask enough questions to understand what it was they needed or desired. You need to go back to that client and go, hey, I've done you a disservice. I've made a mistake. I've gone out and started actioning. I need to ask you, first off, why that street? Why is that important? Why 3-bedroom? Ask why. And why is a very scary word. I'll have people contact me by DM on social, and they go, Steve, we should have a beer. And I would just respond with, why? And it will upset people. I've had people threatening to hurt me, and I've had other people going, good question. This is why. Why is a very confrontational word that ignites different things into your brain cells. And so when she went back and she said, need to ask you, why that street? And then she says something else. And I said to her, keep pushing why. Ask why a minimum of 3 times. And she did it. And she did it again. And she did. And then the story came out. The core came out. That when she was a kid and they lived just outside of town, her mum used to put her in the car and drive through that street because that street was where all the successful people lived. That was the it street of that time. Now, let's be blunt. The it street, it moves, doesn't it? Over the years, the cool street of your location is no longer the cool street. Bear in mind, how many places do we used to live in our childhood that were like the rough end of town? Hell, is where all the trendy lofts are now, So things change. Your address postcodes, they change on desirability. She was able to find out the reason for the move to that street was so that her mum would be proud that she had made it. Therefore, what she was looking for was not that street. She was looking for the it street. And that was in a different zip code. So you've got to ask why 3 times to find out what's pushing that question. What is the core? You've actually got to be Sherlock Holmes. You've got to really delve in to understand what's motivating and pushing that question and that request.
That's awesome. I love it. And so that's exactly it. And it's scary because you're almost questioning that the answer they gave you wasn't the truth. And in actuality, it probably wasn't. It's what they thought you wanted to hear.